money, yeah, yeah, money, money, yeah. What's going on YouTube? It's your guy Darian, and I go by here on YouTube, the Bow Tie Fragrance Guy. And on my channel, I talk to you guys about how you can look great, look good, smell amazing each and every day. So if that kind of content interests you, then go ahead and click that subscribe button. While you're at it, click the bell icon as well. That way you get notified every time I release new content on the channel. So today, guys, I thought we'd talk about top 10 winter fragrances that are cheap. Cause oh, North Carolina, you ain't gotta spend a lot of money on no fragrances now. Oh man, I just felt that Bernie Mac coming out of me just now. I apologize. So today, guys, we're gonna be talking about 10 great fragrances that you can wear in the fall and winter time that are not expensive. So while I feel like looking good and smelling great is very important aspects, again, you don't have to break the bank. Fragrances don't have to cost a lot of money, because this list today, these 10 fragrances are going to prove that you can spend about at that $50 mark or under and still smell great. So again, the list today is going to cater to fragrances that I feel are very appropriate for the fall and winter. So when it is cool to colder weather, colder temperatures outside, you can get any of these 10 fragrances, or because they're not that expensive, maybe all 10, and rock these fragrances, and you're going to be still smelling like one of the best. So you can rock any of these 10 fragrances and you still can smell like the best smelling guy in the room. These fragrances are Bow Tie Fragrance Guys certified approved fragrances. So we're going to get right into the list. So if you want to know what I have to talk about today, these 10 fragrances, you know the routine. Keep it locked right here. All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. We're about to go ahead and jump right into this list of 10 fragrances. As I told you guys before, these are going to be 10 inexpensive fragrances. Most of these, I'm pretty sure you can find under the $50 mark. I will make sure I try to link them all down below where I can find the best price for you guys to maybe check these fragrances out. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump right into the first fragrance. This one comes from the house of Ferragamo, Salvatore Ferragamo, and this one is called F Black. F Black. This fragrance is kind of nostalgic for me, man. This reminds me of, you hear me talk about this sometimes, the good old days of FRAGCOM. When I kind of transitioned into FRAGCOM around the 2017 time frame. This was one of those fragrances that was getting a lot of hype at the time. It was produced, actually released in 2009. But even at that time, again, when I came into the fragrance community, a lot of folks were talking about this fragrance, and for good reason. Man, you can find this pretty much anywhere, any bargain bin, or as some folks like to call them, the rack stores. Pretty much any place you can find this fragrance, pretty much around that $19 mark or less. And I think it's a really good value for the money. It opens up with this kind of combination, a little aromatic lavender and some apple accord that you get with this, but it's really spicy as well. When you start to get into the heart, it's spicy. You get like, I think there's pepper in this, as well as tonka bean and labdanum. So you can kind of get an idea of what you get when it dries down. A fragrance that's really great to wear in cool temperatures. And again, guys, at the $19 price point, you really can't go wrong with this stuff. So this is one that I highly recommend. It performs great for the price, and it smells good as well for what it is. From the house of Salvatore Ferragamo, this is F Black. All right, guys, and coming in at the 9th spot, this fragrance comes from the house of JACQUE Paris, and this is called JACQUE Pour Homme. JACQUE Pour Homme, guys, I absolutely love this stuff. It opens up kind of aromatic, but the star player in this to me is a raspberry note. This thing has raspberry in it. Oh man, guys, I'm telling you right now, this stuff is so good, and you can get this for around that $25 price point. In addition to that beautiful raspberry note, when it starts to dry down, guys, you're going to get a nice sweetness that comes from tonka bean, but it blends very well with some floral notes. So you start to get some florals in the heart, primarily rose. And again, on that dry down, you get a nice tonka bean, some musk as well. Just an absolute beautiful fragrance. It's kind of sweet, but it kind of has a kind of gentlemanly quality about this one as well. But for the price point of $25 or less, it's one that I highly recommend that you try out from the house of JACQUE Paris. This is Pour Homme. Guys, and coming in at the 8th spot on this list, this fragrance comes from the house of Lacoste, and this one is called Lacoste L'Homme Intense. Lacoste L'Homme Intense. Again, another great fragrance that you'll definitely find under that $50 price point. That's what this list is about. Works really, really good. I would say more so for the fall. The only hit with this fragrance is it doesn't really perform that good. And that's the only thing that would keep me from probably wearing this more in the winter time. But again, if you want to talk about a nice, inexpensive fragrance that kind of smells really unique for the fall season, this is one that I highly recommend. This has rhubarb in it. That's one of the main notes. And rhubarb kind of gives off this, it's kind of spicy, but at the same time fruity. Again, almost a, if you will, a vegetal kind of undertone to it. Again, but it's a really, really nice fragrance. A very unique note of quiche is in this as well. But guys, one that I highly recommend that you check out. It smells fantastic. My wife complimented me several times when I wore this fragrance. Again, the only hit with this one is it doesn't perform that great. But what you're getting under the $50 price point for a fall fragrance, this is something I highly recommend from the house of Lacoste. This is Lacoste L'Homme Intense. All right, guys, and coming in at the 7th spot on this list, this fragrance comes from the house of Mugler, and this one is called Pure Tonka. Pure Tonka. Now, this thing right here is sugar overload, but man, it smells really, really good. Like all the other fragrances in the this line, the Amen line, it has the patchouli in it. And these fragrances, I will tell you, pretty much everyone I've ever tried from the Amen collection just worked really, really well on my skin. But again, this is one at this point you can get for under that $50 price point. So there's a lot of value there with this fragrance. Vanilla, patchouli, coffee, cacao. It really just smells like cookies. That's what I always equate this to when I smell this fragrance. It's so sweet. It kind of, it smells like cookies, guys, but it smells so, so good. I promise you, if you never put your nose on this, if you like gourmand scents, you will absolutely love this one right here. It's one of the best out there from the house of Mugler. This is called Pure Tonka. All right, guys, and coming in at the 6th spot, this fragrance comes from the house of Versace, and this is Versace Oud Noir. Versace Oud Noir, and you guys know why I love this fragrance. It reminds me a lot of one of my absolute favorite scents in the world, which is Tom Ford's Oud Wood. And I know by now you guys have heard that, so I'm not telling you anything new there, but when you talk about this fragrance, you have to mention that, or you feel like you almost have to mention that. But that's really what this kind of smells like. So it's a lighter oud. Of course, there's oud listed here. You pick up a little bit of the oud, but there's a few notes that kind of brighten this up as well. You have some pepper in this, a little bit spicy. You have neroli in this as well. But I'm telling you guys, it's just a good scent, especially for what you're paying. And that's what this list is about. Fragrances that are not going to break the bank, but they're going to allow you to smell great. So if you just look at this in comparison to Oud Wood, which, contingent upon the size bottle that you get, most of the time you're going to be looking to pay anywhere between that $150 to $250 price point in most places for Oud Wood, when you can pay $50 for this and really get a fragrance that's very, very close as it relates to the overall fragrance DNA. So highly recommend this one as well from the house of Versace. This is Oud Noir. All right, guys, we are breaking into the top 5 fragrances on this list, and we're going to start the top 5 with a fragrance from the house of BURBERRY, and this is BURBERRY Man in Black. BURBERRY Man in Black, man, and this one has gotten some attention in the fragrance community for great reason. This is an absolute gorgeous scent. People start talking about quality fragrances. First of all, the house of BURBERRY, to me, just in general, makes some very, very quality fragrances, and you're going to get great value. So if you're a person out there that is just into finding great fragrances and not really having to spend a lot of money on fragrances, I would direct your attention to the House of BLVGARI because they make some great fragrances that are not going to break the bank. This one is no different, man. This is just such a manly man scent, man. You got spices galore in this fragrance. You have some tonka bean, you have some leather in this, you have rum, you have tobacco. I mean, again, a man scent, but it just smells so great. This really pairs well when you're dressed up. I don't really like to wear this one as much casually, at least smart casual. There are the occasions that I look for when I wear this, but man, I'm telling you, for the price point, again, as is the thing with this list, under $50, you really cannot beat this fragrance. So if you're looking for a nice masculine fragrances that has some spice, some rum, tobacco, this is one I highly recommend from the House of BLVGARI. This is Man in Black. All right, guys, coming in at the 4th spot, we're going to the House of Ralph Lauren, and this is Polo Red Extreme. Polo Red Extreme. Now, the House of Polo, over the course of the years, to me, has kind of taken a hit. Some of the fragrances they put out haven't been the best, but this is not one of them. I love this scent, and from what I can see, a lot of other people seem to like this scent. If you talk about fragrances just specifically from the House of Polo, this is one of the best releases that they've had over the last couple of years, in my opinion. And it's really about a nice kind of fruity floral fragrance that features a note of coffee. But it's just very, very appealing, a very, very appealing scent DNA. And again, for the fall and winter, you can find this one as well for under that $50 price point. And to me, you really can't beat that for the price. So one that I highly recommend coming in at the 4th spot from the House of Ralph Lauren. This is Polo Red Extreme. All right, guys, coming in at the 3rd spot, there's been a lot of talk about this fragrance. This is kind of the face of fragrances that you can find that are great and you're not going to break the bank for. A lot of people talk about and reference this particular fragrance from the House of Bentley. It's Bentley for Men Intense. Bentley for Men Intense. And you guys have probably heard a lot about this fragrance, and for great reason. Again, when you talk about the value proposition, this fragrance you can find for around that $30 price point, and it reeks of quality. Definitely, I can see someone packaging this in a niche brand, and folks are going to pay for it. Folks would pay $150 for this fragrance because it is that good of a fragrance. Is that it exudes that quality that you look for in a fragrance. And guys, that's really what this is about. It's kind of spicy, it's boozy. There's some rum in this as well, some incense. So very, very nice fragrance to wear dressed up when it's cold outside. And again, at that $30 price point or less, it's really hard to beat this particular fragrance from the House of Bentley. This is Bentley for Men Intense. All right, guys, and coming in at the number 2 spot today on today's list, we have a fragrance from the House of John Varvatos, and this is John Varvatos Vintage. John Varvatos Vintage. And guys, again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but guys, for the price, man, this stuff is so good. It is so, so good. This probably would have been number 1 if it had a little bit better performance. I could definitely see it. It has one of the notes that I really love, one of my favorite notes in perfumery outside of sandalwood. I love the note of cinnamon. Cinnamon reminds me of fall and winter. And you get a nice cinnamon note in this fragrance, along with, of course, some other notes I spoke about earlier with the Lacoste fragrance. And maybe the Lacoste fragrance, now that I think about it, took a note from this one, because this was released, I think, around 2006 time frame, if I'm not mistaken. But this one also has that rhubarb note and quiche as well. And it's just not notes that you find as often used in fragrances, but again, it gives a very nice kind of spicy, fruity opening in this fragrance. But again, the star player to me really is the cinnamon. This is another one where the star player to me is the cinnamon. You get about 5 hours of performance out of this, but under the $40 price point that you'll probably be able to find this size bottle for, it's a good 5 hours, and it's worth the price of admission. So I love this stuff from the house of John VARVATOS. This one is called Vintage. All right, guys, and coming in at the #1 spot on this list, this fragrance comes from the house of Burberry, and this is Burberry London. Burberry London. Another one that evokes feelings of nostalgia for me, because when I, like I said, broke into the whole, excuse me, fragrance reviewing, this was one of the fragrances that really reminds me of that time frame. One of the first fragrances I purchased when I really started to buy multiple bottles, and it just again reminds me of a great time in this community. And I love this stuff, man. Cinnamon and tobacco, mimosa, quintessential fall, winter, Christmas fragrance. From everything from the presentation of this bottle to what it smells like when you put this on your skin. This is one that will never get old. This is one that I will always have in my collection. Again, one of my favorite notes in this of cinnamon. One of my favorite cinnamon fragrances. Period, point blank, end the discussion. I love this stuff, so if you don't have this in your collection, I highly recommend that you put your hands on a bottle of Burberry London. One of my favorite cinnamon fragrances ever. Comes in the #1 spot on this list. And again, as you know, you can find this for under 50 bucks. All right, guys, that's it. That's my time. I hope you enjoyed this list as I talked about 10 fragrances that are great for cold weather, fall, winter season that you can get for under the $50 price point. It doesn't cost a lot of money to smell good, guys, so I hope you take that away from this video. As I always say, I appreciate you guys taking the time out to watch it, because, of course, I know you could have been anywhere else in the world. You didn't have to take a few moments to watch this video, but you did, so I sincerely appreciate that. Now, it's time for you guys to help me out. I appreciate if you like, comment, and subscribe. And, of course, go ahead and share these videos out to folks that you think could use this information or find this information entertaining, because I'm your guy, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love looking good, and, of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side.